Should there be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott? The answer is no. Period. All that other stuff don't matter. It should not be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott. And by the way, here's the reason why. Because Stephen Jones said it best. These are grown men. You wanted to be a man. You wanted to be a professional. These are the rules. Follow them or else. There are laws that govern our society, whether you're for it or against it. Follow it or else. Period. It's just that simple. And that's what this comes down to. Nobody asked you to leave Ohio State early. Nobody asked you to step into a grown man's game, which, by the way, you're pretty damn elite at. Nobody asked you to pay, to play for pay. You wanted to do that. You wanted to get away from the collegiate sport and come to the pro level. Not knocking it. Right decision. Clearly, you're elite. You're big time. I think he'll be a superstar and a Hall of Famer someday if he continues to play and he doesn't find himself out of football for stupid, idiotic reasons. But at the end of the day, what this comes down to is that even though you're young, you're still a man. You know right from wrong. You know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. I'll be damned if I'm an owner and I'm going to spend extra money and extra resources cushioning you so you can act like you have some damn sense. I refuse. This is your check. You know what comes with it. You know the rules and regulations that abide by it, like everybody else in society, okay? You either going to do it or you're going to pay the price. It's just that simple. Listen, I've said it on many occasions. And I love me some Oprah. But if there is one thing that I have against Oprah, we have been Oprah-fied. I've said it for many years.
What does that mean?
I've told her that. And I'm getting ready to tell you what it means. There's an explanation for every damn thing. Every damn thing. No. The rules are the rules. You know what you got to do. Do them. Get this check, ball, get the check, and live your life. Period.
Right.
It's not that complicated. And we make it complicated because we always try to find explanations. I'm not knocking Ezekiel Elliott here. I'm just knocking this notion that there's this need that certain people need to be cushioned. Damn all that. If you don't do it, these are going to be the consequences. Show it to them and then let them be men and make the call. Period.
As I said, I am in one place. Obviously, I started with the premise that was very clear. Adults shouldn't have special rules. But it's not because the owner needs to spend extra resources doing it. It's not like the player wants the owner of the team to do that. The player feels that the owner's being patronizing when that happens. The player doesn't want it. It's the owner of the team acting as though he owns the man somehow, which is objectionable. That's not what we're discussing even. The real issue is,
I didn't recall discussing that.
If you you're saying, why should the owner have to spend extra money? The player's never there telling the owner, hey, spend extra resources and make special rules for me. You think Ezekiel Elliott wants special rules for him? Of course not. The point is this. It's the owner actually trying to exert greater control over not only the player, but the man. I find that objectionable. Most people do. What we're talking about in this instance is the Dallas Cowboys, who have done this with other players. If they are coming out now and saying, you know what, our policy going forward is we're not doing that anymore, then I understand their point about not doing it for Ezekiel Elliott. But if the idea is, well, we still are going to do this from time to time, but Ezekiel Elliott doesn't fall into the category of the kind of player or person we're going to do this for, then I say they're being hypocritical. Because based on his behavior so far, if Des Bryant was in that category, then certainly Ezekiel Elliott should be in that category.
And I'm saying that all of that's irrelevant to me because the question was, should there be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott? And I answered directly no. Period. It's not that complicated. This is why this shouldn't be the extra rule. I'm not dancing around anything. I'm going right at it. There should not be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott or anybody else.
Or anybody else. But if there is...
What if you need to be saved from yourself, though?
Say what?
What if he needs to be saved from himself?
That's his problem.
But I mean, for the Cowboys, they invested so much money. They showed that they need him.
Let's understand, Molly.
Okay.
You're asking me the question. You ain't asking me the question because I'm wrong. You're not asking me the question because you're right. You're asking the question because there's an elevated level of compassion that you may have that I don't have.
Yeah, I'm overfied.
Well, let me understand. Let me explain why. It's not that I'm devoid of compassion. It's that I'm a realist. I understand that in the real world, people are not going to give you those kind of leisures. They're not going to give you those kind of passes.
Is playing for the Cowboys the real world, though?
Yes, for Ezekiel Elliott it is, who cuts the check.
Okay,
it ain't
a different
ESPN.
question.